Hi guys, welcome back to Lost in My Library. My name is Kate and today I am doing my June 2020 wrap up. Here we go. Alright, so the statistics for the month, I read 10 books. One of them was a manga. 9 of them were regular novels. I read 3 horror novels, 3 fantasy novels, 1 paranormal novel, 1 historical fiction, and 1 classic. Added up all the pages, and the pages come out to 2,965 pages that I have read. And I, on average, read 98 pages a day. That is pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. There was like a week I didn't read anything, so if I had read it during that week, I could have bumped that up so much. But yeah, let's get on to the books themselves. The first book I read this month was Children of the Whale, Volume 1. This is a manga series about these people who live on what is called the Mud-Whale. We are following a boy named, I don't even remember what his name is. I don't even have my book with me. I forgot his name. But he is like, he records everything that happens on the Mud-Whale. Pretty much everyone on the ship is marked, and so when you're marked, you die really soon. But if you're unmarked, you become an elder, and then you help run the place. And you learn about why they're on the Mud-Whale and everything at the end of the first volume. I probably won't be continuing with the series. I didn't particularly like this one. I don't know. It wasn't for me. I really didn't like it. Everything was, I don't know if it's a testament to all manga series, but everything felt like it was going way too quickly. It felt like it was trying to tell a story way too quickly and trying to cram as much as possibly they could in one volume. And I didn't particularly like how the pacing of that story. Then I read a story called Pitch Dark, and this is by Courtney Amidala. This is a horror novel. This is a story about a girl who, there's 2 ships in the beginning, and then they crash into one another. And the girl that we're following a girl and a guy. The girl we're following is the one blamed for the crash and everything, but turns out she has been being basically controlled to do a lot of things by these rich people, and it's illegal, and she's just basically trying to clear her name. Well, there's evil creatures going around, and she's trying to save the ship and everybody on the ship. And then we're following a guy. I forgot. Oh, her name is Laura. I remember that. Her name's Laura because they were specifically like, this is how you say her name. Laura. Not Laura. Laura. So, and I forgot the guy's name. But yeah. This has been a long time since I read these books. Okay. Next book I read was the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. This is a reread. I loved it. I personally think Rick Riordan can do no wrong. He is just such an amazing writer. 5 stars. Love Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Then we move on, and I read Vampire Knitting Club Book 2. This is the second book in the series of by Nancy Warren. This is a series about a witch who, in the first book, her grandmother just died, and so she takes over the knitting shop that her mother or grandmother owned. And first book, she's trying to figure out who murdered her grandmother, and in the second book, she is trying to, people keep getting murdered. And people keep getting framed for it. Yeah. There's a lot of different things. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but it's still a decent read. 3 stars. Okay. Then I read, and this is one of the 2 books I have physically, The Rose and the Thorn by Catherine MacDonald. I believe this is a self-published book. I really like this. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I really, really enjoyed it. With fairies. Fairies play a more prominent role in The Rose and the Thorn than in other tellings. People would like to say that, what is it? The Court of Thorns and Roses, this is nothing like. This is historical fiction, with fairies. I enjoyed it for what it was. I gave it 4 stars. Cute. Like, it doesn't feel like a historical fiction novel, but it definitely is a historical fiction novel, but I really, really enjoyed it. Okay, so the next one is Night Shift by Stephen King. It's sitting right here. This is his first collection of short stories. I enjoyed a lot of them. I was excited to pick this one up in particular because I knew there were 2 stories about Salem's Lot in this novel. This book makes me think that Stephen King doesn't know what the frick he's doing with Salem's Lot. FYI. Because when I read Salem's Lot, now, if you know me, I don't like Salem's Lot. I really don't like it. For the first half of Salem's Lot, I thought it was going to be some kind of ancient cult. Turns out it's vampires. So I was like, oh, okay, that's my bad for thinking it was just, assuming it was going to be an ancient cult. It was vampires, no big deal. Pick up the first story, is the very first story in this collection called Jerusalem's Lot. It is about an ancient cult. And I'm just like, is it vampires or is it ancient cult? Make up your mind, Stephen King. What is happening in Salem's Lot? I still don't understand. I still don't know what's going on in Salem's Lot. I still have no conclusion to what happened in Salem's Lot. I am angry. I'm still angry. It's a ghost town now, I think. Is what, but like timeline wise, it seemed like it was a ghost town before. Like, I had to look at what I think that was supposed to be set in the 1900s, like around the time that book was written. So I don't know. There's some really good stories in here. My personal favorites being Man on the Ledge. I really, really enjoyed it. Let's see if is there a list of stories in here? Man on the Ledge is one. I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, okay. Night Surf is awful. Graveyard Shift is good, which is what the book's named after. The Boogeyman's awful. Sometimes They Come Back is good. Strawberry Spring is good. It's called The Ledge. It's not Man on the Ledge. Quitters Inc. is really good. Children of the Corn, if you've seen the movie, you're going to like the short story. It's very good. And then One for the Road, which is the other Salem's Lot story in the collection of short stories. And I really enjoyed that one. So, it's actually pretty good. So we move on from one horror novel to the next horror novel, and I read My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This is a story, well, the title tells you, about a girl who gets possessed. We don't really know what happens to her, and it's not really explained what happens to her, like, actually happened to her, but she does get, there is an exorcism. It is what it is. It's set in the 80s. If you are a fan of Stranger Things, I think this would be a story that you would like to read. If you're a fan of, like, Supernatural, like me, you're probably gonna like it. So, it's not for everyone. It's very weird. It's very strange. Very supernatural, / Stranger Things kind of esque. So, very good. 4 stars. Then I read Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters, which is the second book in the Percy Jackson series. I haven't read this since, I hadn't read this since I first read the book years and years ago. So it was nice to get back into reading that again and like reading everything in the Percy Jackson series. I loved it. I don't think I like it as much as the first book, but I think Sea of Monsters is still a very, very, very good. Again, Rick Riordan can do no wrong. So, 5 stars. And then I read Fahrenheit 451, which is a classic novel by Ray Bradbury. It is set in a dystopian world where books are illegal. And he is a fireman, and firemen actually burn books. So he basically tries to learn anything and everything he can about books and everything. Yeah, it's a very short story. It's like 100 and something pages. It's not very long at all. I really enjoyed it because there was a lot of talk about, people don't agree with this, so this shouldn't be something read. Fiction should be read because it's not truth, and nonfiction, not everyone agrees with everything, even if it's the facts. Nobody agrees. Not everybody agrees, so therefore we shouldn't have books. I think it's a very nice commentary on society. I think it's something that we should definitely read. Still speaks true to now, with cancel culture more than anything. And it's talking about, well, are we going to get to a point where, are we going to cancel everything? Are we going to try and make everything the same? And I don't think we should. I think diversity is needed, desperately needed, for everything. So, very good story though. Then I read Joy Luck Club, which by Amy Tan, and this is the last book I read in the month. This is a story about 8 women, 4 moms and their daughters, and it's 4 Chinese women, their stories, and how their stories affect their daughters. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Very good novel. I actually met one of the women who played in the movie. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. It's very good. It's a historical fiction novel. If you are a fan of Toni Morrison, I think this is a story that you're going to love, and I think it's a story that needs to be read. Probably it's going to be a classic. Highly recommend. You need to read it. It's by an Asian author. So if you need a diverse book, there you go. Diversity. Diversity is always good. Like I was preaching just a second ago. Okay. Well, that's it. That is my my list of 10 books. I'm hoping this keeps up because I have